So there we go. We are live. That happened very quickly.
Great.
Excellent. Let me just get this on my phone because I think I see it. I see it almost straight away on my phone. Okay, here we are. So, great afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Success Clues. This is my favorite thing to do. I get to have conversations every week with what I call extraordinary people. These are entrepreneurs who have really big dreams, really big things that they want to share with the world. And I feel it's really important that we get to see what they're up to. We get to see what they're ready to share with the world. And this week is no exception. I have an amazing lady that I've met through the power of networking. You know, one amazing friend introduced me to this lady. Her name is Therese, and she is based in beautiful Ireland. She's an entrepreneur, and the thing I love about her is her story of how she got there, how she became an entrepreneur, kind of how that all came about, and just her dedication, and also that kind of aha moment she had about when she became an expert. It's almost that realization of course I'm an expert, and then really running with that. And but anyway, I won't steal her thunder anymore. Let me please welcome to our Success Clues this afternoon, all the way from Ireland, Therese O'Connor. Hi, Therese.
Hi, Yvette. It's great to be here.
Oh,
I won't say sunny Ireland because it's not that great here today, but
same here. Same here. We're having a grey one today as well, but never mind. At least we're here. We're
exactly.
here, healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I decided with the whole COVID thing as well, like the standards had to change, whether it was more about, how am I feeling internally, and then being able to take that energy out rather than because I'm such a doer, normally.
Yeah. And it's sunny every day then. It's always sunny. If you're feeling like that, great. It doesn't make a difference what the weather's like outside. Yeah.
Exactly. Carry your sun inside, my grandmother would say.
Nice thing to have.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited for us to have this conversation. I'll start with the questions, and the first thing is, please tell us what's special about your business.
Well, Blueprint Solutions is the name of my company, and blueprint is, if you look at the Google, the definition of blueprint is to design a plan, right? So
yeah.
And solutions for me, when I hear the word solutions, is about getting a result. So for me, Blueprint Solutions is about designing a plan for your business to get a result. So to go back to your question, what's so special? The Blueprint Solutions is a combination of project management, business mentoring, and training for business owners. Everything that I have done in my 25 years plus in business management, in service sector over, and I'll tell you about that later on. Mm-hmm. So a lot of companies out there's companies doing what I'm doing. There's people, fantastic people doing what I'm doing. And what they're very good at and do it very, very well is to tell business owners what to do. And I do that too. I tell people what to do.
Yeah.
What a lot of people tell me is, that's great, I understand you, but now I'm overwhelmed even worse, right? So what I do is I tell them why they need to do it as well. So look at the cost and the benefit. So if you don't do this, what cost, either negative or positive, is going to be to your business? And if you do the opposite, the same thing. And then I show you how to do it. And I work with you in relation how to do it. And if it's step by step, it's step by step. And we take that overwhelm out. And my tagline for Blueprint Solutions is giving business owners back their time. Time can mean absolutely anything to any person. But when I researched this, and I talked to a lot of business owners when I was doing this whole concept of Blueprint Solutions, and time was the one factor that came up. I said, what's your biggest pain point in your business? Time, lack of time, right? I'm too busy working in my business, not on my business.
Wow, yeah.
But I wasn't happy with that. I investigated a little bit more, and I have discovered that why people say that, partly they're using it as an excuse, and partly it is a reason. But it's a reason because they lack that business skills to get them to the next level to manage their time better.
Right.
So what I do in business in Blueprint Solutions is I look at freeing up business owners' time, looking at maximizing efficiency. That's important because if you're not efficient in your business, you're not going to make money. And I look at 4 key areas. The first one is compliance, because no matter what business you're in, you have to be compliant to either health and safety, GDPR, food hygiene, whatever it may be. And a lot of business owners are overwhelmed by that word. So we look at compliance, we look at quality, because if you're not providing a quality product, you're not going to stay in business. We look at structure and systems, because you can't, if you don't provide structures and systems, you're not going to have efficiency. And that all leads on to consistency. So they're the 4 key areas I look at. So that's what I think makes Blueprint Solutions a little bit unique to me anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds it. I like the way that you because I've had that very same conversation this week about, it's all well and good having that initial conversation. Oh, you just need to do this, 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 and this. And then you're like, when? When am
how
I
even, or even how?
Yeah. So give us a little background about how you got started with Blueprint Solutions, and then what led you to become such an expert. Kind of what was that journey like?
I find it, I smile as you say expert. Who's an expert really in one way? But yeah, my 25 years plus experience makes me an expert. Absolutely,
You're an expert, lady.
And you said, we had this conversation recently, and I was saying about my aha moment. I always felt up until recently that everything I knew, everybody else knows. Yeah, what makes me so special? I've actually only found out the last 6 months or so that's not the case at all.
That's not the case at all.
So there's where my eureka moment came, and that's really why Blueprint Solutions started. I realized I have things that people need help with, and the reason how I found that out is people start coming to me. I didn't even have to ask or advertise. I was getting people coming to me before I ever was self-employed, and I've only gone self-employed in the last 4 to 5 months, and I had always set up the plan to start Blueprint Solutions. The name wasn't necessarily there, but I always had a plan. For the last 2 years I was going to start my business. But I don't know about a lot of people out there, but when you're in full-time employment, to go self-employed, it's very daunting. And a lot of questions come in. The little chimp in your mind goes, oh my God, can I do this and whatever. And the more people you tell that you're going to do it, the more they kind of have to nip away at that negative. So I stopped telling people. I just made a plan internally and I was going to do it. And as people started coming to me naturally over the last year for help, my plan to start Blueprint Solutions at the end of this year, or the start of next year, actually now has been fast forward, and I started in March and April.
Excellent.
So, okay. Now I was always going to use my name as a brand, because anyone out there that's providing a service, why customers buy your service is because of you. And I realized that, again, it's another eureka moment I'm having, but I realized that it is you they buy into if it's your service. So I was very much wanting my name to be my brand because of that reason, but I had difficulty. And the difficulty was, Therese O'Connor project management, Therese O'Connor growth strategist, Therese O'Connor business mentor, Therese O'Connor training, what do I do? Because I can do all of it. And that's why I haven't used my name. And that's why I use Blueprint Solutions, for that reason, because I have the uniqueness, I can do all 4 of those things.
Amazing.
And what led me to that is going back 25 plus years ago, I graduated in college in hotel and catering management, actually initially. And I was only actually saying I was on an interview again this morning, and somebody asked me about my qualifications, and I said, well, I actually have a degree from Trinity College in Dublin in business management, but at the same time I have a higher diploma in hotel and catering management from the Dublin College of Catering, which is called Brew Street. In those days, the DITs, we call them, or the Institute of Technologies, didn't have any degree status, so they had to actually get sponsored by university. In my case, was Trinity. So Trinity is one of the best colleges in Ireland. So to have a master's or business degree from Trinity, without actually, I think I was in Trinity about 7 days and 4 years, because most of our classes have been called Brew Street. But there you go. I have a degree from Trinity and I'm sticking to it. And so I started off in the hotel industry. I quickly realized that the food and beverage side of it wasn't my forte. and I was big. I had a good knack for revenue, figures. Anytime you tell me I can't do something, I'm stubborn. I have that determination button in my head, and I always had it. And that's probably why I'm here today talking to you about Blueprint Solution. I was never going to give up. But when you're working in sales and marketing or working with figures, you have targets. That's why I thrived in that environment, in the challenges. So I worked for most of my life in hotels, in the revenue, front office, dealing with people in sales and marketing, conference and events. And then I went back to university as a mature student in 2004 in the University of Limerick, down in the west of Ireland where I'm living. And I went back to the Masters in International Tourism.
Okay.
It was a great opportunity, but a challenge because I was working full-time. So I gave up work full-time because I couldn't do both. And I actually went out on my own in doing business consultancy for tourism companies. So that was the start of all that journey, really.
Yeah.
Of opening myself up beyond hotels. And then after my Masters, I started my project management journey, really. I got a job in the university, going in on the building site, project managing, and eventually managing a 500-bed student village. And everything that comes with that.
Yeah.
Academic and non-academic. So non-academic, there was the conference season and kind of the hotel kind of season. So it was a combination of a lot of skills. So that's where my project management started. And I was there for just under 5 years. And then I went into the TEFL, teaching English foreign language in business. Yeah, I took a year out, went to Spain with no Spanish. I think I was going through a midlife crisis. I don't know what I was doing, but I went to Spain. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Completely an experience, an eye-opener. I went to my own with no Spanish, never did teaching before, and absolutely loved it.
Amazing.
And came back, and an opportunity arose with my business skills to come up and be operations director for a multi-sector language school. So just goes to show, one learning I'll tell people out there is, it doesn't make a difference what experience you have. Once you have basic business skills, and my kids' business management skills, you can go into any industry.
Put it anywhere. Yeah.
I've worked in student accommodation, hotels. I've worked in training. I've worked in holistic wellness. I've worked in language schools. It was all new, right? And that's I've very much taken the scenic route to where I am today, but I've enjoyed every bit of it and learned so much on the way. And then after the language school, stood there for 2.5 years, dealing with 17 centres over England and Ireland. Then I went into training, and at that time, hospitality and tourism was huge, and the government had loads of initiatives in Ireland in relation to that. And there was a program called Momentum. So I ended up training in hospitality and tourism to the long-term unemployed. And I went then and I worked with the youth service, and I taught early school leavers in skills such as health and safety, tourism, hospitality, catering, customer service, soft skills, and loved it. And I went back into project management then about a year and a half ago, and started working in the holistic and wellness sector, again, another startup. And people started coming to me going, look, will you help me with my business? Will you do this? And I have helped. I'm currently helping a lovely woman in the east of Ireland with her skincare brand and rebranding. I'm also working with Holistic, an online platform for holistic practitioners. There's a startup company. And I've loads of other opportunities. A friend of mine is starting a healthcare company. I'm working with her business at the moment. So as I said, I'm coming from hotel management. I've now just opened myself over 20 years to so many different industries. And I really think you can open yourself up to anything once you have basic business skills. And while I've taken the scenic route to get here, I don't regret any bit of it, because it wouldn't allow me to be the person I am today, opening up Blueprint Solutions. So
yeah, and it sounds like the scenic route, you were picking up so much as you went along. So you're using the skills you already have and still just gaining, learning, growing, gaining, learning, growing. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. And you know, the other thing I'm going to say to you is, I'm learning. I might be teaching my wisdom to people, but I'm learning every single day. And the day I stop learning is the day I give up.
Yeah. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I hope not. There's a lot more in me. I hope not.
Okay. So when a client comes to you, what's your process? Like what parts of their business are you looking at? What does that look like?
Well, it really depends. I mean, so when the first thing I'd say, will not take on every client that comes to me, because I mightn't be a right fit. I don't take a client just for the sake of it. I really, I have 12 points of culture that I really stand by, and they're on my website, and one of them is integrity. And if I don't think that I can be integral to your business, I won't take you on as a client. And that's a very strong value of mine. So the first thing I do is I'll always have an introductory call with them. I say 30 minutes, but some of them last a little bit longer, and that's okay, whatever it takes. A lot of people are coming directly to me through referrals, but they also, on my website, there is a calendar there. You can go just book a 30-minute introductory call with me, either. So either or. So in that 30-minute call, I structure it. I look at what your business is, what you feel your pain points are for that business, and where you feel you are struggling with that business. And if I feel I can help, well, then I'll put a plan in place and see if I can get you on board. If I don't, I will look to recommend you to somebody who I think will help you more. Excellent. And I just don't, as I say, I just don't take on contracts for the sake of it. I could take on contracts that I know that I can help, really. In relation to your question about what parts of the business I look at, it really depends, but at the same time, some people always come to me, and it has happened that one area of their business, they feel it is a struggle, but sometimes it's other areas of the business that trigger that.
That's right. Yeah. Right. So it's like the symptom versus the illness kind of thing. So there's all these symptoms that show up in different part of the business, but the illness might be the root of it, either might be something else.
So quite frankly, you have to look at the whole business. And it could be as simple as, and I have seen this, it could be as simple as the business owner's mindset.
Yes.
It could be as simple as that. So you need to kind of go back and look at all the whole holistic approach. So when I look at each project, I have to see that there's 5 main pillars in business. And I look at all 5 main pillars. And I more than likely sometimes do it in order, even though you might think the 4th pillar is your struggle. I still look at the other 3 to get to it. And the 4 pillars for me is purpose. So what is your business purpose? Why are you in business? What is your mindset about business? Why did you start that business? Where are you now? Where do you want to go, and how are you going to get there?
Right.
There's my first, and I'm saying that very quickly, but that's probably the biggest minefield. The second thing is your audience. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business, no?
Right.
And I look at the audience and who the audience are, what the pain points. I say that word pain points quite a lot because that's a big thing for business. What's the pain points of your audience? Are you filling that need, and how are you doing it compared to your competitors, and what's your unique selling point over your competitors? And I look at more of that now. There's more. We go to the customer journey as well, and how you build awareness and how somebody purchases from you. There's a lot in the audience bit too. We also look at structures and systems. And I said, as part of my process is putting systems and structures in place for efficiency.
Yes.
A lot of companies don't have that. A lot of business owners are working every day, 60 hours, maybe hours a week in their business, because they don't have the trust that when they're not there, that their employees or whoever it may be can carry on when they're not there. And the simple reason why they don't have that trust is because there's not systems and structures.
There's not systems and structures, right?
You put the procedures in place. It doesn't make a difference if it's you and me doing it, or what time of the day someone comes in. It should be done the same time, same way. There should be consistency.
Yeah.
And so systems and structure is also a big one. And then the 4th one is revenue. So it looks at your pricing structure, but also looks at your costs and your purchases. So it looks at, and I always look at the 80-20 rule.
Right.
Yeah, 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
So you should have the biggest income coming from what? Well, I'd love to say 80% of your business, but probably the 20% of your business. But you should, the 80-20 rules are very important. And then the last thing is impact, right? That's where your sales strategy comes into place, your marketing strategy, and what we're doing now, networking, which is a huge thing. Who you're aligning who your strategic alliances are, because it's your strategic alliance. It's the strategic alliances that I have built up in my 25 years, that have got me to open up Blueprint Solutions today. Without those people, I wouldn't be here. A lot of people think the business is them and independent to them. It's not. You need people. As I said, when I'm talking about tourism, no person is going to come to your hotel. They'll come to your hotel if there's a restaurant they can go to, or if there's attractions nearby. You all have to work together to get what you want.
Yeah, that's so important, because I think a lot of people, assume that business is, it's my business, it's about me and it's about what I do. And
Well,
it
it
really is
is,
about
but
that network and the alignment that you have. I mean, yeah, definitely the alignment of that network.
the alignment is important. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. So my next question is about the common things. What are the common things, the common kind of things that business owners miss? And for your mind, it's like, well, that's obvious.
Do you know what the simplest one is? Planning.
The
amount of businesses that don't have maybe core objectives or don't have a plan. If you're going to get into a car and go somewhere, you have a plan how you're going to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be it what road you're going to take, be it that you have diesel in the car, be how long you're going to get there, how much it's going to cost you, whatever it may be. So in your business, the same thing. The amount of businesses I've gone into, they don't have a plan.
Yeah.
So in other words, you don't have a plan, you don't have structure, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have an end goal. How can you measure your impact and your growth? How can you see that you're meeting the needs of the audience? So all those 5 pillars that I just said.
Yeah.
You don't have a plan, and planning goes into the first pillar, basically purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How you're going to get there. The other thing is a huge one for me is companies, the resources within the company, that they're underutilized and used inefficiently. And when I mean resources, I mean staff, I mean the premises. I have a colleague of mine, actually, that has a business, a shop, but upstairs she has 2 meeting rooms sitting there.
2 empty meeting rooms?
2 rooms. 2
Wow.
rooms. I'm saying they're meeting rooms. They're just 2 rooms sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying you could have meditation classes up there. You could have a corporate meeting up there. Never thought of it, because all they see is the shop. The 2 rooms are part of the shop. Didn't see that you could use those 2 rooms as extra revenue for something else. So that's what I mean by inefficiency. And it's a eureka moment for her. Inefficiency in relation to that. And staff. Amount of employers I see that they employ staff for a particular reason, because that's the vacancy that comes up, but never get to notice the staff, the employee member, to see that what other hidden talents they may have that they could bring to the company. And the amount of business owners and employers that spend a lot of money bringing contractors in to do work that they could possibly do in-house, but they're not getting to know the staff well enough or the resources well enough to utilize it. And you know what? When you look at that, when you look at your staff and look at their inner traits that they can bring, you're empowering them, right? Yes. And if you're empowering them, guess what? You're getting more out of them. And what a lot of business owners forget is they think that their customers are only people who pay. Their biggest customers are their staff. You don't look after the staff. Or the other way I look at it, if you look after the staff, the customers will be fine.
Yeah, that's my customer service 101 is your staff is your number one customer. If you treat them well, your customers will love them and they will love your customers. If you don't treat them well, you
don't like working there, the staff, the customer is not going to get the same service. If you love working there, you're going to get
fantastic service. That's
and the employer is going to get a big return. And they don't, and I feel the lack of, sometimes employers don't focus an awful lot on training or development. I tell you, it's the biggest investment they could have, because the biggest cost is hiring staff, training staff. Yeah. It's easy to keep them if you look after them. And if you look after them, they're loyal to you, and your customers will just keep coming back because they're getting great service. That's the big one-on-one for me. You're right. I'm a big customer service queen.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And I think my next question, is an obvious answer, that those methods and that advice would work in any area, wouldn't it? And in anyone's business, like absolutely a plan, and absolutely look at your resources and see what's available in your staff, in yourself, in the building, in
technology, which I didn't mention. The amount of people who have IT that just use the same pattern, the IT, when the IT, like and your phone, you have so many apps, but how many do we actually use? It's the same with IT systems. There's so many. I'm working with a company at the moment, and they're using one element of an accounts package when there's actually 6 other elements they could be using for efficiency, but they're using Excel instead.
Wow. So they're using a complete other system where they have it all in one anyway.
I'm being honest with you, if you're to ask what the reason is, it's fear of change, really.
Oh, wow.
It is
Okay,
probably
so
fear
it's
and
not even
shame.
that they don't know, it's just that uncertainty of,
Or we like our little patterns and our habits, no? I'll be a little bit like that myself, but yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, so to
Wow.
answer your question, absolutely, the methods can work in every business.
Yes.
And what I like to do, and what a lot of people say to me is my unique selling point, is I speak it and go at the pace of the business owner. So I speak your language and I go at your pace, because at the end of the day, you need, when I walk away, or Blueprint Solutions walks away, you need to be able to carry it out.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's important
So
to
you
me.
don't want to take away the overwhelm, leave, and then create more overwhelm because you're gone. That's beautiful. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I like to do. That's what I like to achieve. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. So if you had like one secret to give away about starting out on your own, what would that secret be?
Never give up.
Yay. That's my
I
favorite.
have, it's an easy one for me to answer. I mean, I have this determination, drive. Well, actually, some friends of mine will say it's stubbornness, but it's that too. But the determination button there, and I have always wanted to go out on my own. Always, I always was seeking better, and I always will seek better. But and that's my personal development journey. But I always want to go out my own. But there is always that fear factor.
Right.
Always, my mother would always have this thing. She couldn't understand why. I don't know what you have in England, but we have the county councils or government job. Go and work on in the county council, and a pensionable job, and stay there for 25 years. I mean, I could never do that.
Civil service, I think we called it over here. Get a nice civil service job. I didn't even know they still existed.
Unfortunately, much to my mother's disgust, that's not me, you know. I'm always striving for more and better. And I never gave up, and I will never give up. I've made a few wrong turns along the way, and people will. But if that turn doesn't work, find a different approach. That's what I did. I find a different approach. Never give up. And what I will say is, this is all about success cues, and success to me is a journey. Success to me is every day you're an improvement, whatever that is. Whatever an improvement on the day before, right? Or everything you do is an improvement on what you did the day before. The next job is an improvement on the last job, right? And because you're always learning. If you don't make that, if it doesn't make, that doesn't mean you failed. It means you learned.
Right.
And that's where I see it. Everything is a learning. And that learning will bring you to where you are. So don't give up, because your time will come when it's meant to happen.
Excellent. That's a great success. Okay, so about that determination, that's, that drive to not give up. What do you do? How does someone stay on track? How do you stay on track?
Oh God, it's hard. It is hard, but I'll tell you one thing. And I'd say one of the main reasons why I think I've accelerated the business 6 months or 8 months, bar what I was planning to do, is I have surrounded myself with like-minded people.
Excellent.
You mentioned networking. The amount of people, COVID has been a blessing to me in one way. Because we couldn't go anywhere, so we had Zoom, what did we do for Zoom? But the amount of networks and the amount of fabulous people I have met in the last 3 to 4 months has been just
same here.
Remarkable. And we met through this.
We met through that. Exactly. Yeah.
And like-minded people. And I think one of the reasons why I haven't got to the stage I want to be until now is that I never got that network of people that were in the same wavelength as me. I had fabulous friends, I had fabulous networks, but they were never as driven in their work as in that work that I am.
Right.
And now what I did was I invested in 2 things. I invested in a personal mentor, and I invested in a business mentor. Excellent. And no matter how good you are, you need them people that are on your side all the time, but at the same time will tell you objectively if you're doing something wrong, constructively more so, and objectively. But you need that. So you need people, your support system, the like-minded support system, 100%. And you need to have that open mindset for change, which is not always easy. It's not always easy. And you need to find that balance, which I've struggled with for many years, that work-life balance. I'm a bit of a workaholic, slightly. I'm changing that. And I now have a pattern. I put in my habits. I get up every morning. I do my 10 minutes of journaling. I do my 20 minutes meditation. I'd like to say I go for my run in the morning, well, not every morning, but I know when I don't meditate, and I know when I don't run or walk. I know.
Right.
We had this conversation last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you're going to go nowhere unless you have that balance. So you need to find what's good for you, but surround yourself with the right people and have an open mindset. And one thing I will say is, don't get complacent.
Right.
Push yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm actually out of my comfort zone here today talking to you, would you believe? But push yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's where the beauty and the learning and the new opportunities come.
Amazing. That's such. I had an interesting lesson. I'm reading Brendan Burchard's book, highly successful,
for effective people,
something like that. I've gone completely blank. It's a fantastic book, though. I'll put it in the comments when I remember. But he has a very unique perspective about balance, kind of work-life balance, because I struggle with that very much, because I'm so outcomes driven. I'm like outcomes. And then I get really arsy with myself if I don't make my outcomes. But what I learned from reading his book was his perspective on the work-life balance was, it's not that you do. So for example, you right now are in a season of building your business. So you're really busy. You're writing your book, you're building this course, you're, putting yourself out there. So there's a lot happening. And at the same time, what he says is the balance isn't that you do something with the equal amount of time. It's that you do something that has intention. So for example, if the work-life balance is, I need to do some healthy things for myself, or some physical healthy things for myself, is that you put that intentionally into your day, and that's when you get the balance. So you're not going to spend the same amount of time running as you do building your business, but that intention of it there you go.
I have my success diary, I don't know if you see
Excellent.
it, and every day I have my daily affirmations, and you put in your action plans and then your appointments, and then at the very bottom it says, what did you do today to achieve your goals, be it in work or personal? And that's thanks to my mentor, Pat Slattery. I'll give him a plug on that. But and it does work. It does work. It keeps you focused, and personal and professional going that. There has to be balance. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I love that. So let's go back to how you choose who you work with, because I know you've got a new course now. Tell us a bit more about the course and how you choose those people to work with.
So in relation to what I offer, I have 3 services really. So the big one is project management. So project management would be a business. There could be 3 different types here, and it depends on the company. You could be a business owner or a business developer that has many businesses, and you're always opening businesses, but you don't really want to get involved in the business. You just want bring somebody good in to do what it has to do, to the time and budget, and open it, and then move away. And that's something that I'm very good at. As somebody in a current project says to me, I'm the glue that brings everything together. So that explains that quite well, right?
Yeah.
You may be as somebody who's starting out in self-employment, and which I have a couple of friends of mine in that situation at the moment, and they're loving the fact that they're getting my service. I have to start charging them though, but and they need to write a business plan, and they need to go look for funding, and and those funding applications are very daunting. I know I've done so many in the last few weeks. They're very daunting.
Yes, they are.
Especially when you're not used to them. They need to get a website. They need to do loads of different things, and I'm going to use that word overwhelmed. They get completely overwhelmed. It doesn't. So I would come in and help them and break it down step by step. That's another thing I would do. You may be a business owner that's in business for many years, and you're in business because you're a fantastic expert of what you do, but that doesn't mean you're a fantastic business person. And you've now brought your business to a level that you're busy working in it and not on it. And you're going, how do I get out of spending 60 hours and bring it down to 20 hours a week? What do I need to do? But you're so engrossed in it, you don't have the business skills, you're
possibly.
So I would, Blueprint Solutions will come in And I have a support team I can bring in to help with projects as well. I have a good alliances I can bring in with me and collaborate with. And they will come in and look at objectively and break it down step by step to get to drive you forward to the next stage. That's the project management bit, right?
Yes.
So how I would select people for that would be, as I just said, an introduction, talk about what they want. If I feel I can work with them and there's a rapport there,
yes,
and that the mindset is right, that they really want it, there is a desire to learn and move forward, absolutely. There's an easy selection process there, no problem. We'll then, the next stage is to put a plan, priorities, action plan there. And then from there, once the project is completed, you may want to keep me on for a business mentoring or once a month, and we'll work from there. You may be a company that just doesn't want someone to come in on a long-term basis, but would like to have somebody every month that you can ring and just throw the immediate pain points at and look at an action plan around that. That's fine too.
That's great. Yeah.
But to bring me onto the training, I have done this previously and I was asked to come back and do it again, that it was such a success the last time. And I'm starting an 8-week, well, I'm not starting to September because there's no point starting it now. So with the summer in. So in the first week of September, I'm bringing back the course I have done a few times before, but I'm kind of bringing it up a gear. And it's getting your business wheel turning in the right direction. That's the course, basically.
Yeah.
It's for female entrepreneurs. I'm taking no more than 10 in a course. And simply because any more than 10, I think people don't get the full benefit of it and the interaction. So no more than 10, and it's an 8-week program. So day one, we meet in an afternoon. It's all on Zoom. It's great. Yeah. Brilliant. Power Zoom. 4 hours. And then for the other 7 weeks is a 2-hour evening in a day that we'll pick that's convenient for everybody else. In the part of that 8-week program, I would also do a minimum of 2 one-to-one sessions with you individually. And you will get a workbook to go along with program. And the way I'm breaking the program down is exactly what I just said to you earlier on, my 5 pillars. I break it down. We look at your purpose. The purpose will probably take quite a lot. We look at the audience. We look at revenue. We look at structure. We look at impact. We go through all that. And in my last course, a woman said to me, look at, in relation to managing my revenue, all I want is a simple Excel spreadsheet to show me this, but I don't know how to do it. But guess what? I have the expertise in that. So I went and I just did it for her, showed her how to do it, and I tailored it. I have no issue doing that. Whatever I can do to tailor you when I want to help you. That's why I'm calling it a practical business skills course. I want people not to say I did a course. I want them to come in and bring things actively into their business. And that's what this course is all about.
Excellent. That
and
sounds
for
amazing.
Anyone who wants to bring those practical skills into their business. So I'm hoping to start that in September.
Fantastic. Well, you never know. September's around the corner. The way this year is flying by, it's definitely just around the corner. So, and my last question is, where can we find out more about Blueprint Solutions, and what's the best way to contact you? Yeah,
a couple of ways. So, my website, anyway, is there. Blueprintsolutions.org is my website. I think you're putting it up in the chat later on. Great.
Yes, I will.
And once you go onto my page, immediately you'll see at the top of the page, book an introductory call. So you can hit on that, it'll bring you to the calendar, and you can book a 30-minute. Look, there's no obligations here. You can talk to me. You can never have to book me after that. So it costs nothing to pick up to book an appointment with me at all.
Excellent.
So that's there. I don't have the course. I'm hoping to have the link for the course up in the next few weeks, but I'm in the middle of doing a video for the course, so that's not there. But if you want to find out more about the course, certainly that can be as part of the introductory call. You can alternatively email me at Therese@blueprintsolutions.org. That's THERESE@blueprintsolutions.org. I think you'll put that email up later on as well.
Definitely.
And I have both a LinkedIn page. I have a Blueprint Solutions page, certainly, but I also have my own profile, Therese O'Connor, which is probably more active, so you can actually connect with me there. Please do. I'm always trying to build my network. And also my Facebook page is Blueprint Solutions 1, and that's very active. And every week on that page, I actually put up some blueprint tips. So I have put up a tip page every week. You just reminded me I better put up this week's one. But every week I just put up a short tip sheet that would help businesses. I think the first one I did was 5 ways of giving business owners back their time. just a simple tip sheet. And the amount of people who contact me going, oh my God, that's so simple, but I didn't know. Right?
It's simple when you know how.
So there's many ways. Through the website, there's a contact us form on the website too. So that goes straight into my email. So absolutely, you can email me there as well. And on my Facebook, on the Blueprint Facebook page, there's a WhatsApp button that you can hit, and it brings me into my WhatsApp as well. So there's loads of ways you can contact me.
Lots of ways that you can contact Therese. Excellent.
Even just to connect and say hello, please.
Yes, I absolutely recommend connect with this lady, even if it's just say hello. She is just, as I told you, she is magnanimous, energetic.
The big word.
Definitely. So thank you so much, Therese, for that.
It's been a huge pleasure. Huge pleasure. I loved it. Completely enjoyed it. You're a pleasure to talk to anytime.
Oh, fantastic.
And what I will say, one last thing before we go, I didn't say yet, but I'm in the middle of collaborating with 15 other fantastic people. We're writing an empowerment book that's going to be published in October.
Amazing.
It's a combination of female and male entrepreneurs, and some from in England, I don't know. I think the majority of them are in Ireland. But look, I'd love to come back to you in October when that is being published and tell you all about it.
I would absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. Yes, that's a fantastic idea. I'd absolutely love that. Great idea. Thank you again. Thank you guys. If you're watching thank you for being on here. Thank you if you're watching the replay. And as we say on Success Clues, in your own unique way, go and inspire and be inspired. So thanks everyone for being here. Let's see if I can end this live, and enjoy the replay when you come along and see it. Thank you.